Y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Veda, if you don't already know, and if you do know, then groovy. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate you. So, to continue our Halloween festivities, I know I'm not really dressed up, but I'm dressed normal, basically. But, you know, we're gonna be talking about the 7, probably, you know, most rare cryptids, probably cryptids you've never heard about here in good old Appalachia. Yeah, Blue Ridge Mountains, all around here and stuff. So that's what we're going to talk about. So I got Harry here with me, if you've ever seen Harry and the Hendersons. So, you know, he's a friendly Sasquatch. So, you know, that's what we're going to do today. Got my cryptid shirt on, the cryptid mash. Yes, I'm a huge fan of cryptids. I actually have one of my own stories and my true scary stories that I have shared on my channel before, which I will leave links here and down below in the description box. So yeah, let's go ahead and dive into it. Alright, so the first one we have is called a smoke wolf. And some of these I may not be able to find pictures for because I've tried to look, but basically a smoke wolf is, you know, excuse me, it's black and it has red eyes. They like to kill people for fun. Yeah, pure evil as people have described them. They're very massive, and these are more in Denmark actually, but they've also been spotted around these areas, around these parts here. So they're kind of everywhere really, but I'd never really heard of them before, so that's what we're going to do on our number 7 spot today. And I couldn't find out too much about them either because I went hunting for other, like, just other facts and stuff, and I haven't really came across any encounters or anything that sounded legit to me. So I don't know, maybe it's just a legend. So yeah, that's a smoke wolf. All right, so next we have the Cherokee death cat, which probably more people have heard of. This is more a lion-like creature, as it is a cat in the cat family. It is 4 feet tall and 9 feet long. And this is from, like, you know, on all fours, it's 4 foot. So it'd probably come up to here on me. So yeah, that doesn't sound very fun. They can leap extremely far, and they're an expert climber, which I would, you know, kind of expect them to be. They usually feed on livestock particularly, and they like to attack the jugular. So alright, y'all, sorry about that. We have been having some technical difficulties with my phone. So yeah, anyways, that was the Cherokee death cat. Yeah, I couldn't find any accounts of them attacking other people or anything like that, usually, or mostly just like livestock. So anyways, next we have the Ravenmocker. And this is also another Cherokee legend. But you know what? I've never actually heard of a Ravenmocker. This is basically like a shape-shifting Bigfoot. So it can turn into different kinds of animals, and it can turn into, like, you know, a person, like a old woman or an old man. So yeah, that's pretty interesting. It is 7 foot tall. And this is on 2 legs, and it has black fur with solid white eyes. So yeah, this is most commonly found in Southwest Virginia as well. But yeah, in its human form, it basically likes to lurk among unsuspecting people, humans. And yeah, it apparently can rip your heart out from your chest without leaving a mark. So sounds like we got a little bit of a little spirit ghost thing here happening too. So next we have the Wampus Beast, which I have actually heard of a Wampus Beast before, which is also another Cherokee legend. Also commonly found in West Virginia. A lot of these are found in West Virginia. So I've never seen one though, because if I did, I would definitely be sure to talk about that. But yeah, around Pleasants County. It is black and is 4 times the size of a regular mountain lion. So that's great. Anywhere from 500 to 600 pounds. And it smells like a mix of a wet dog and a skunk. So yeah, that sounds pretty disgusting. Ugh, 2 of the worst smells ever. And next we have the Silver Giant. Which creature is similar to a bear. It is anywhere from 9 to 11 foot tall. Also on 2 legs, not just 4. So that's great. And it can run on 2 legs as well as 4. Could you imagine something 9 foot tall coming after your ass? No, thank you. And it has dark fur, which could be like dark brown, black, dark gray even, with a silver streak that runs down its back. So pretty much like a Bigfoot on steroids, or kind of like a skunk ape, I guess you could say. Okay, and of course, next we have Grims, which this is actually kind of cute to me. I mean, even though it's still kind of really messed up, but a Grim, if you don't know what a Grim is, these are red-eyed beasts that guard a cemetery, but legend has it that the family, or a family, believed that if you bury the family dog alive in the cemetery, that you want to be protected. Yeah, alive, not till it dies, still alive. Then it will turn into, its spirit will turn into a Grim, or morph into a Grim, and will watch over the cemetery, which sounds kind of cute, but not really. It does to an extent, but yeah, and it would protect the graveyard. So basically it's a black dog with red eyes that just roams the graveyard. So if you ever seen one of those, I don't know. And last but not least, we have the Grafton monster, which I saved this one for the number 1 spot because there's actually a lot that goes into that. There's actually been sightings of this when Grafton, Virginia. Of course, something about Virginia. Maybe I need to move to Virginia to see, or not move, but go visit so maybe I can see some more cryptids. But originally sighted in 1964 by Robert Cockrell in Grafton, Virginia. And there is no visible head, or either it's like, say this is the body, say the head would be up here. The head's probably like right here. At least that's what people have suspected. Has a slick, white, seal-like skin, and it is very large. Yeah. They make a low whistling sound, so that kind of sounds like a skinwalker to me. Well, not really. Like, that's how you call skinwalkers, apparently. Which I did at my uncle's, but we never saw any skinwalkers, though. Which I guess is a good thing, but yeah, because if you've ever heard of that, you whistle at night. If you hear whistling back, then either it's your neighbor or you might want to run back in your house. Yeah, there was an anonymous teen that claimed that it was 9 foot tall and 4 foot wide. So this is another biggin' right there. This is a tall sumbitch, that's what he is. In fact, most of these are. So, but yeah. And there have actually been more than 20 sightings of the Grafton monster, or Beast of Grafton is another thing that probably locals will call it. And yeah. Now I'm going to read, actually, there's another testimony, like the first testimony from Mr. Robert Cockrell and what he saw. So I'm going to throw up some pictures and we are going to talk about, or read his doohickey. Okay. So, in 1964, on June 16th, 1964, at around 11 p.m., Robert Cockrell, which was a reporter for the Grafton Sentinel newspaper, was driving along the Tygart River on Route 119, known as Riverside Drive, on his way home from work. There, Cockrell suddenly encountered a large white creature on the right-hand side of the road, which was the side that the Tygart, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but whatever, was located. According to Cockrell's account, the creature was lumbering around the side of the road while a low whistling noise was being emitted from further away in the direction of the river. Cockrell at the time had no explanation for the noise, but later an uffologist, Gray Barker, believing the creature to be an extraterrestrial in origin, suggested that the noise was being emitted from the creature's spaceship. Surprised by the encounter, Cockrell initially slowed down, and he was able to see that the creature was very large and appeared to be made entirely of muscle. It also had white seal-like fur and, disturbingly, didn't appear to have a visible head. The creature moved quickly out of view, and upon realizing that the white obstruction was a living creature, he quickly accelerated down the road until he reached home. Once home, Cockrell called two of his friends, Jerry Morse and Jim Mauser. Cockrell explained his sighting to them and asked them to come with him to the location of the sighting in order to investigate further. They agreed, but when they returned to the site, all they were able to find was trampled grass and a low whistling sound that seemed to follow them around the site. So, yeah. The next day at work, Cockrell mentioned to his editor, Grafton Sentinel, of what he had seen, but the editor did not take the sighting seriously. Cockrell assumed that nothing more would come of his sighting after that point. Cockrell's friends, however, were fascinated with the idea of a monster on the loose and went around town telling as many people as they could. In a very short time, monster hunting parties formed, predominantly made up of local teens armed in baseball bats or whatever they could find. These roving groups of teens scoured Riverside Drive, near where Cockrell had initially seen the creature, and soon new sightings were being reported. Spurred by the commotion and by new sighting, the Grafton Sentinel interviewed some of the teenagers and produced an article about the creature on June 18th, 1964, titled "Teenage Monster Hunting Party's Latest Activity on Grafton Scene." So yeah. So there have been more than 20 sightings, like I said, that were reported from the monster hunt. And below, these two that I'm also going to read are of the alleged sightings. Quote, "I have seen the creature called the Grafton Monster several times when I was a young man, and it is very real. My first encounter, I was with my father cutting wood. We had finished and were loading the truck when our two dogs started barking. We stood there and listened. Something was walking, getting closer. My dad told me to get the gun from the cab. He carried a double barrier 10 gauge and double buckshot. Whatever it was had picked up its pace and it continued toward us. All we knew for sure was it was big and wasn't scared of us, the dogs or the chainsaws. It stopped about 50 to 55 yards from us in the trees and went quiet. My dad pulled both hammers back and stood in front of me, told me to be ready. The next thing that happened I'll never forget. It stepped out, looked at us, took 3 strides in our direction, turned and walked back into the tree line. That was my first sighting of the beast, and I'll never forget it. My second encounter was about 2 months later at night, fishing alone. I spotted him on the opposite bank, and I got the hell out of the area." Unquote. And the last testimony, quote, "I saw the monster near the river early in the morning. It saw me and instantly froze. It did not move. I was fishing at the time and left all my gear there and started to run away. As I ran and turned, I saw that it too turned away and started running off. As I got near my truck and began opening the door, I heard a whooshing sound and a bright light appeared above the tree line. I drove off and got my gear 2 days later." So, excuse me. So yeah, that is the Grafton Monster. There was a lot more information on that one. And of course, I'm going to do some honorable mentions, which would be Mothman and Bigfoot, which here in North Carolina, we got a lot of Bigfoot sightings now. I've never seen one. I do have, my uncle has seen one. My uncle that has passed away. And I actually made a video about that as well, which I will leave here and also link down below. So yeah, and I've had a cryptid encounter as well. Out here near World's Edge. I've seen a gargoyle or something, or fallen angel, whatever. Of course, my boyfriend still thinks it was Mothman, but I don't know, it could have been, but it was really weird. But yeah, if you want to check out that story, please do, because it's really weird, and it is a true story. All of my scary stories are true. It's something that I have encountered or someone else has encountered. So, and my great grandma has seen Chappie, which is the monster of Lake Champlain. Yeah, but she's not alive for me to be able to tell that story to its fullest. So, my uncle, the one that saw Bigfoot, he told me that story. I always loved it when he told me that story. So I do have that, and then my boyfriend has actually seen a goat man. So maybe I can get him on here this month in honor of Halloween and spooky shit, and he can talk about his encounter with the goat man in Laurel Park, North Carolina. Laurel Park in Hendersonville, of course. So yeah, I hope that y'all enjoyed that. I know that we did. Yes, Harry. And yeah, I hope y'all are having a great Halloween season and that you enjoyed this video. Sorry, y'all, the weather change is killing me. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed that. And if you've ever seen any kind of cryptid or any kind of strange creature like that, then please comment down below. I would love to hear your story. I would love to hear it. So yeah, and don't forget to check out mine. And don't forget to stay tuned for more Halloween stuff and last year's and the year before's Halloween stuff. Yeah, if you want some costumes and stuff or anything like that. So yeah, thank y'all so much for watching. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe because it really helps my tiny ass channel. But most of all, don't forget to keep it rockin'.